The problem with graduating. This is applicable for those who are on the cusp of graduating from college or university specifically, because I've talked about the issues when it comes to the real world application and the differences between university and what life is like outside of university. And I think for myself and for a lot of students, when it came to finally graduating from my uni degree, there's like this thing of like this realization of, what am I going to do now? Like, how is life actually going to look like? Because I'm worried that the actual job that I'm going to do isn't going to be as fun as it was studying it at university. And I think that's like a very real issue where a lot of graduates, it's like this cliff that they see, and I've spoken about it on previous videos. It's this cliff that they see where, oh my gosh, I'm going to maybe fall off this cliff and drop off into the ocean, but I don't know if I'm ready to embrace the real world dynamics of this job because I can't do 12-hour shifts on a remote site. I maybe not am meant for a 9 to 5 in an office job. It's just going to grind me down and wear me out. But crap, what am I going to do? I'm now about to graduate and I've been studying this and it was kind of fun to study it. But now I've got like this different world and I just don't feel like I'm ready for it. So that's my biggest problem when it comes to graduation, in the sense that in hindsight, my tip for you is hopefully you're aware of this potential cliff coming up, and hopefully you've at least tried to explore some job avenues previous to this, where you've gained some real world experience to at least inform you better of what works, what's more interesting, what's more fun, and what's something that you'd actually enjoy doing. Because if you haven't done that, then chances are you might be in for this rude awakening. But if you are, if you have and it's too late and you're graduating now, I think as you go to find jobs and apply for them, the biggest takeaway is try to imagine what the environment might look like. And sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's easier, and it's very clear what the kind of job would say if it's remote or not. And sometimes it's very hard in terms of you just don't know the office dynamics. Is it going to be fun or not? Who knows what kind of people you're going to get into. And in those situations, I almost don't want to say have a backup plan, but don't think like you're tied to that one job. You can always switch and you can find it, but try to make, the best of the situation also. Try to, realize, okay, I'm stuck in this office job now. How can I make it somewhat bearable and fun until I really, really want to swing on the vine? Or maybe then you think about, can I do some study outside of hours for a second degree or some sort of diploma? Because now I've learned my lesson. Now I can see what kind of jobs are more interesting to me, what's more fun to do. And now I actually have a bit more purpose to work towards that. So I think ultimately trying to remember those facts are going to help you get through whatever scenario you have, because that is like the biggest thing, the issue that I have with university apart from lectures. But the not being ready or being prepared and realizing that the real world is going to be so different when it comes to the university life that you might be used to. I think it's important to recognize that you're also likely to be quite young. Even if you're like 25 or 26, you still got like another 4 or 5 years before you even reach like 30. And it's like so many people in their life have had like some interesting wake up calls post 30, even when they're like 40, and they've done like a terrible job. And then they realize, okay, now like I'm going to do something else. I'm going to actually do something more meaningful and interesting. And I've seen like people that like, or like maybe even myself, you realize There are people that are happy to work for someone else, and there's a lot of benefits with that, where they have less responsibilities and they're happy not trying to worry about where am I going to get money from and which clients I need to get, what products I need to sell. And then there's also, you might realize that you may be more of a person that is actually one that enjoys being their own boss, one that enjoys having a little bit of a managerial role and making some decisions and kind of being a master of their own domain. And I think even if you did get like a boring job and you finish graduation and then you're like, man, this job isn't for me, but maybe I can use it to work for something else that I'm brewing up, like a side hustle or a business idea proposal that you want to do, that you know you can do, you just need the funding for it. And then you start building the funds slowly over time, and then you go into that. I think that is also like another great antidote to this whole, oh man, I'm stuck in work. What am I going to do now? I've stuffed up. I don't want to go back to uni. The financial cost, the opportunity cost of doing another degree is just not worth it. How can I make the best of a bad situation? Use the job that you got currently and begin planning and funding for that kind of dream entrepreneurship and testing it out and seeing it what would look like on a small dose. That could be another way to alternatively kind of, resolve that kind of anxiety that you feel. But I think ultimately recognize that you're not alone, as always. Other people have gone through this. Try to take onus that you're young, and try to take onus that it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to maybe have seen things in 2020. What's more important now is the actions that you take in the future. I think it's like that old quote where it's like the best time to have done like a degree or that thing that you wanted was like, say, 20 years ago or 10 years ago. The next best time is today or tomorrow. The next best time is, now that you've realized with hindsight, it's now to do put yourself into action right away. It's not to keep dwelling on it and think like, damn, I should have done that 10 years ago. Damn, if only I could go back in time. You can't. Now what you can do is focus on it right there in this moment, right there now, today. What are some actions that you can do to slowly begin creating that life that you feel like you missed out on or that you really wanted to do? Tell me some stories down below. Have you also came across this issue when you've come to graduate, when you're like, I'm kind of sad to be leaving. I loved university, or I have no idea what I'm going to do afterwards because this is going to be like a whole new world. And I don't know if I'm made for 9 to 5. How did you overcome that? What did you do? Or were you kind of lucky and you planned ahead and you realized that university is great, but I know what's coming afterwards, so I chose wisely the kind of career or the job or the company that I was going to be working a lot of my hours in. I want to know some stories down below. That's it for me. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Enjoy these last minute or so of this tense warzone battle. Peace.
Squad mate is redeploying. Well done. Be advised, resurgence is no longer active. This is for keeps. Your squad mate's back on station. Good work. Losing ground, moving. Less than 25 were still standing. They hit us hard that time. Dust yourself off, regroup, and get back out there.